The flying club really was at Mount Hamden, at the airport. It was a special building for the smaller planes. And we were just one of the few. All those that were flying from the club. We also went to Paradise Island, and those were happy days. We used to go in convoy with like Stuart Irwin and Dick Bondy and that kind of thing. And you'll see them in photos. I mean, they were just happy times. Down to Paradise Island, of course, was lovely because there was no motorcar parks or anything like that. It was an aeroplane park. So when we went down between 2 and 3 planes at a time, we would park in the aeroplane park and then go into the hotel, clock in, and for the weekend. Now, to take the plane for the weekend, going back down on a Friday, coming back on a Monday, cost us £27 to go there and come back, and the plane sitting in the park at Paradise Island. It was lovely. But from the aeroplane park, from that hotel, we actually took a boat. They took us to Paradise Island. We'd have our lunch and stroll around on the island, which I think was only about a mile wide or a couple of miles. It was very small. And then we'd get back on the boat at around about 3 or 4 in the afternoon, back to the hotel. When we got to the hotel, the moment you bought your first beer, out came the prawns and crab and everything. It was a whole big plate. I say big plates, I really mean big plates. And you could fill up completely, no charge. It was all inclusive. And by the time you'd finished having all your prawns and crabs and everything, all the seafood, you really didn't want any supper because you were so full. Apart from the £27 to hire the plane, it only cost us £1.10 per day each, and that actually was our breakfast. Our tea would be brought when we were on the beach in the mid-morning, let's say about 11 o'clock. 1 o'clock it was lunchtime, so you were there now for your lunch. Afternoon tea would be brought to the down to the beach again, because we spent a lot of time on the sea at that time, And then come supper time now, that is when all the first beer and all the plates of seafood came up, and then you could have had your supper as well, as I said. Now that cost us £1.10 each per day for that weekend, so that would have been roughly 4 days, either 3 or 4 days. The whole atmosphere, the relaxed life, it was really super for us to get away from the continual manufacture and hassle and bustle of the company, because Dad was at this time sort of travelling all over the country, like to Bulawayo, Kwekwe, over to Rusapi and Inyanga and so on. And so it certainly took us away, and we had somebody look after the children while we were away. And only later in years they said that they were naughty. Not that they were naughty, but the people looking after us were naughty. Apparently they just had a ball, didn't sort of worry too much about the kids. So the time Dad started to fly was when we were actually started stakehold, because now the money came in, and he always had a yearning for flying. And at the time the price seemed right for him to fly, and he was able to take time off, because now he's actually working for himself. And when he took his first solo, he felt that he'd achieved. He felt that his life was in God's hands, and he felt that he'd accomplished what he really wanted to do. But he continued to fly for years afterwards. When Dad got his full pilot license after his solo, yes, he was like a puppy with 2 tails. Then he would take the plane out, and I was his first passenger. and we used to fly off like to the various farms. One that I can think of was Rhodesia, and we touched down on the airstrip that was there, and the farmer would pick us up and take us to the dairy, and we'd sort out like with the dairy and the refrigeration and things that he needed dealing with, and would also give us lunch and like a chat and that, and then we'd get back in the plane and fly back to Mount Hampton. And he did the same again with Kariba. He went to Boomy Hills, touched down, did the refrigeration repairs or whatever was needed at that time. And again, I was with him. I used to fly quite a lot of places with him. And when we crossed over Kariba, there were roughly, I counted about 23 elephants. And they were all hanging onto each other's tails. That was the little ones as well, flying from the mainland to the little island that was in Kariba. And to me, that was, I'd never forgot that. That was really lovely.